The purpose of this video is to describe some of the tools that are found on the MPR tab in CubeVue software. This video was recorded in CubeVue version 2.8.09. Some of these tools may be available in earlier versions of CubeVue as well. To start off with, let's open a case and click on the MPR tab, which is found in the lower left corner of the screen. Notice as we enter the MPR tab, there is no 3D rendering found in the upper left corner. We still have our axial view, we still have our coronal view, and our sagittal view. The upper left corner is going to be reserved for special images that will be created by using some of the tools found on the MPR tab. Notice that all of the 3D controls that we normally would see on the combined 3D and MPR screen are not visible. They're not present here on the MPR tab because we do not have a volume rendering to work with. Most of the other tools in the top toolbar are also present, such as window level, zoom, pan, etc. There are two tools that are found on the MPR tab that are not found anywhere else. These are the MPR Cut and the MPR Explorer. It should also be noted that any actions that we have performed on the combined 3D and MPR tab will not carry through to the MPR tab. That includes any data set rotation of the volume. That also includes any measurements that we may have made, angle or distance measurements. The MPR tab operates and works with the volume independently of the combined 3D MPR tab. I will start off by briefly scrolling through the volume to see if there are any areas of interest. And we can see that we've got a screw in the calcaneus, and we've got what appears to be a staple or two as well in the midfoot. The two tools found here, the MPR Cut and the MPR Explorer, are going to enable us to take a closer look at some particular areas of interest, and more importantly, to be able to do it from angles that are different from the standard axial, sagittal, and coronal planes. For example, if we wanted to take a closer look at the screw that's going through the calcaneus, let's find it first. We may want to look at that screw with a view that is absolutely perpendicular to the screw to get a better idea of what is taking place in the bone surrounding it. So I'm going to go up to the MPR Cut tool, click on it to activate it. Notice how the mouse has changed shape. I'm going to left click and let go. Notice how an image is now being drawn in the upper left corner. And I'm going to double click a second time to end the line. Alright, let's just zoom in for a second here, take a closer look at the image that was drawn. This view is perpendicular to the line that was drawn, and we can, for example, see where there used to be a fracture line here. It looks like it's healed quite nicely. Turning off the zoom tool, I can grab that line and I can slide slowly through the area of interest as well, keeping that angle that was originally drawn. The MPR Cut can be applied to any screen here, so we can run diagonal images or any type of oblique image cut directly through the axial image, and also the coronal image as well. We can also do something interesting with the MPR Cut. I'm just going to right click and remove the MPR Cut line. We'll draw it again. We can also click multiple times and draw a curved line with the MPR Cut, again double clicking to end. And even with the curved MPR line, we can also grab it and we can move the curved line. If, for example, we wanted to line up and view all of the metatarsal heads at the same time, I've just drawn a curved line running through the metatarsal heads. I can then grab it and move it, and we can view all of the metatarsal heads at the same time. If we want to change the shape of the line, we would have to redraw it though. So again, right click, remove the previously existing one, make sure the MPR Cut tool is active, then click multiple times. In this case, I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3, get a nice smooth curve, double click to end, and the image is drawn in the upper left. And then again, I can grab it and move it. And again, a curved line can be drawn on either the axial, coronal, or sagittal image as well. In addition to the MPR Cut, we also have the MPR Explorer tool. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my cursors and make sure that I've got a rough idea of the area of interest I'm going to be exploring. In this case, I'm going to assess the tibia for a possible spiral fracture. I would like to view the tibia from any number of different angles and basically rotate around the tibia. I can do that by finding the tibia on the image, on the axial image in this case. With the MPR Explorer tool active, I'm going to click once to place the tool. The tool can be centered or recentered by grabbing the red center dot and moving it. Then by grabbing the outer dot that runs along the circumference of the circle we see, I can make the image larger or smaller, and I can also rotate. The image in the upper left is now constantly updating as I rotate. The view is perpendicular to the line that runs straight through the middle of the circle. And again, I can rotate the image, stopping at any time. I can reposition the Explorer tool. Again, this time I'm going to be focusing on the fibula, grabbing the outer circle and rotating around the fibula this time. For example, if the fibula happens to be slightly tilted, I can also rotate the view here to get a more perpendicular view of the fibula. And now we can see that we're rotating completely around the fibula, which is more perpendicular now. And again, once I've reached my desired angle, in this case about 40 degrees off of the sagittal view, I can grab and recenter. I can actually scroll through and create a series of images in the upper left corner as I grab the dot and move it perpendicular to the line that is passing through the middle of the circle. Again, that's our view perpendicular to that line. The MPR tool is not restricted to just the axial view either. Let's just remove it temporarily. If I wanted to, for example, take a closer look at my second metatarsal here, I could again rotate the angle slightly, the viewing angle, until I get the correct angle. And I'm going to grab my coronal view and bring it over here. Okay, this is what I want to focus on. Then, again, selecting the MPR Explorer tool, clicking to center it on that second metatarsal. I can now rotate around the second metatarsal. Again, viewing the bones, especially the long bones, at different angles makes it a lot easier to determine if there's a very fine fracture running through the bone, especially at an odd angle. So for a quick recap, the MPR Cut, which enables you to draw lines in any direction, including curved lines, and the MPR Explorer tool, which allows you to rotate around an area of interest, are found on the MPR tab. You get to the MPR tab by clicking on the tab that says MPR in the lower left corner. This video was recorded using CubeVue version 2809. Some of these features may be available in earlier versions of CubeVue as well. If you'd like to upgrade to CubeVue version 2809, be sure to contact CurveBeam Technical Support. They will be able to arrange for you to download the files, and they will also give you instructions on how to install and configure CubeVue version 2809.